This is a step-by-step video that shows you how to access and clean your washing machine filter. I just got a used Electrolux 600 series front-loading washing machine. I noticed my clothes were soaking wet at the end of the wash. I put the washer in test mode and got errors 38 and 21. I looked them up and it meant the washing machine detected no change in water level between functions and that it wasn't draining in between the washing and rinsing cycles. I figured removing and cleaning the washing machine filter would be the first step to do. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as other machines to get to. My other machine had a little door on the front that you would open to gain access to the filter to clean it. This one doesn't. You might be able to get it from underneath the washer if you could tilt it back and support it. My machine is connected to a pedestal drawer, and I didn't want the hassle of trying to remove it and do all this by myself, so I went for it another way. First thing you want to do is unplug the machine. Then remove the two top screws on the back of the machine so you can take off the top metal plate of the washer. Lift the back of it and pull it toward you. Now remove the three top screws on the faceplate of the washer. Then remove the four screws that are at the bottom. Take a pair of needle nose pliers and put one end of them through the right side of the seal spring and move it to the right to release tension. Then take off the spring. You can then remove the seal from the face of the washer and push it into the basket. Now remove the detergent dispenser. Pull it all the way out and push in the tab on the right upper area. With it depressed, pull backwards and remove the tray. Once that's out of the way, there are two screws that we need to remove. Pull out and up on the face of the washer. Once it is separated from the washer body, hold it in place and remove the two electrical connections on the upper right of the washer. The first one to unclip is the door sensor. The second is the connection to the control panel. There is a tab that you lift up on and then the plug can be removed. Once they are disconnected, place the washer front to the side. Where I'm shining my flashlight is where we need to be to remove the filter, but there are things in the way. I'm going to remove this counterbalance in the front. I use a 10mm socket and remove the 4 bolts. Just be aware that this has some weight to it, so make sure you hold it firmly when you're removing it. Place this on the side. In order to remove this filter, we need to take off this clamp. The clamp is actually facing toward the back of the machine, and I used a 7mm socket to remove this. I put a towel down to catch any water that might spill. Pull down on the rubber assembly to get to the filter basket. Well, that's it. Unfortunately, I don't think this is my problem. If you can see, there is some stuff in there, but there's not a lot to actually restrict it, so I have to figure out what else is wrong with the washer, but at the very least I should clean this up and I'll show you how to put this back together. Since I have everything apart, I took the whole black hose assembly off to look to see if there are any obstructions. You won't need to do this unless if you're running into a problem like I am. Unfortunately, everything was clear, so that's not my problem either. This shows you how the filter goes back in the basket. There are 3 plastic tabs that stick out on the top of the hose that go into certain slots, and then there's a little tab that sticks on the top of the filter assembly that goes between those 2 rubber recesses. Now I'm going to put the hose back on and line everything up. Each ends of the hose have a little rubber groove that you match on the plastic assembly that you're pushing it onto. There are also these clamps. I used a pair of channel locks to squeeze them together to slide the clamps off. We're going to need to push them back on and put them back in their spot because we want everything to be obviously watertight. Now with the other connections completed, I'm going to push up on the filter basket to connect it with the bottom of the washing machine. Once I have that sealed and set up properly, I'm going to use that 7mm socket now to tighten that clamp to make sure everything's secure. Once we're done, I'm just going to give everything a little tug to make sure all our fittings are okay. And now it's time to reassemble the rest of the washer. Now bring the washer face over to the body. Connect the two electrical connections and line up the plastic clips from the washer body to the front of the washing machine and get everything connected. Put the 3 top and 4 bottom screws back in. Now put in the 2 screws by the detergent dispenser. Now to assemble the washer door seal. Remove the washer seal from inside the washer and bring it out to the lip of the washer face. Make sure everything's pulled out, and then take the spring gasket and put that into the groove and reassemble it the same way we took it apart. Now to put the top of the washer back on. Align the front grooves and put them into the slot of the washer and secure the back with the 2 screws that we removed. Plug the power back in and test it to make sure that it works. This does. I still have the issue where it wasn't draining properly, so I double checked my standpipe. The way I have my washer, it drains into a standpipe. Apparently the hose got pushed down too far, and that was my issue. So make sure that your hose from your washer doesn't go any more than 8 inches into your standpipe. Otherwise, it could create an issue with draining or have an issue where it creates a suction and actually backfeeds into the washer. So that was my problem. I did a lot of work, but I could tell you everything inside the washer is now clean, and I don't have any obstructions in there, and I can confidently use it from this point forward. If this video was of value to you, please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.